Okay, so it is turn 2. And just to do a little recap, the current Mythos card does nothing. There's no lingering effects in play, and it didn't do anything to us, so no Doom tokens, which is awesome. It is midnight, beginning of turn 2, and we are doing all right. We have only got 5 sanity over here, and we have 3 health. We have 4 sanity, and we have 3 health, and a clue token. She's also got a red dice. Meanwhile, good old Mandy from the Mr. Metonic, hail, hail. Kappa Kappa, Mr. Metonic, he's got a kill monster token, a red dice token, a couple of trophies. Awesome. And the other Mr. Metonic legendary, Amanda, she has 4 sanity, 4 health, 2 spells, a red dice, and another discard monster token. And lastly, we have Ashcan Pete coming up the rear with Zip. He's got a token, and he's got his trusty dog. 6 health though, 3 sanity. So, what shall we do? It is now the first turn, and just to remind you, we are facing the Shub Niggurath, who is... well, Shub Niggurath, I mean, do I really need to explain who this is, man? Badass is who it is. Oops, and I knocked it off. There's 1 Doom token. And we've got no Elder Scroll signs or whatever. Okay, so we're not doing too well. Usually you want to get a couple of signs in your first turn. So, now, our first thing we do is we're going to activate Caroline Fenn's ability, which allows her to restore 1 sanity because she's a psychiatrist. So she's like, so you saw some gibbering creature from the void? No matter, I will just tell you that here's a solution. And I'm going to give this to... I think I am going to... 3, 4, 5... Well, there's only 2 people really who have lost stamina. She's going to give it to herself, I guess. Well, let's give it to Ashcan Pete. We'll put him back to full health. Okay, so now where is she going to go? She is currently standing here. Now, I do not believe she's not going to have another attempt at that particular story. It's too full on for her. She does have a red dice, but really, I don't know. It doesn't seem like her kind of thing. So instead, why don't we try this one? She's going to slide over to the gift shop and hang out with Pete for a bit. And she's not going to spend her dice. She's just going to roll 6 dice and try and get through the gift shop. Okay, so... and she needed a 3, and there it is. 3. Woohoo! Right, so she gets the first one done. First roll, nice. And the second, she needs whatever it's called, scroll and a 3. Kaboom! And she gets a 3, but not the scroll. She does roll a Doom terror icon, but there is no terror effect on the gift shop, so, you know, she's not really that scared, basically. But we do get to place the 3, and then we have to discard 1 dice. So now we're just looking for a scroll, and there it is. Scroll. Nice. So we have passed this place. Clunk. Okay, so that is complete. These dudes all go back to base. Oh, there he is, right. And the gift shop. Okay, so I had to read that off camera because the text is so hard to read. But it says, I noticed that the shop was decorated with artifacts that could not be accommodated in the exhibit. The clerk seemed to read my mind as I studied them and assured me they all were quite genuine. Whatever. The point is, this is completed. And that's the end of that. And she gets a uncommon item, which is another awesome yellow and red dice. Can't be much better than that. Okay. And the next card is whoop, the storage closet. I was told the fly had been lost. The key had been lost. Man, this is the worst font in history. Whoever designed this game, seriously, this font, it's impossible to read. I was told the key had been lost, but now the door swung open. Okay, so this is an interesting one. See that little arrow that's pointing down? That means you have to do them in that particular order. So you get a 3, 3, and then 2 of them. Now, I've mainly been rolling in order, but you don't actually have to do them in order unless you see that little icon. By the way, so there's 2. That's how much that's worth. Okay, and this is a good one because it does open a portal. So we don't want to open any portals until we get rid of this guy here, which I think we're going to do right now. Right now! So we're going to send in one of our big guns, which is Mande. She needs 6 clue icons or 2 scrolls, which is quite a lot. Now, it's quite decent rewards here, so I think we're going to spend her red thing. So, let us do it. Let us roll, and we'll take the red dice. Woohoo! Okay, so we needed 6. So there's 4. There's 6. Now we need 2 of these scrolls. Ooh, dice are so cool. Okay, so we've got 1 scroll. Now, yeah, so we're going to keep that. Scroll goes on here. Discard 1 dice. Roll another 2. Not roll the last 3. Discard. Come on, we need a scroll. There we are, and there's the last scroll. Booyah! And that's it, you're gone. Okay, so we clean that up, which now we are able to open the portals without having any kind of backlash. So she does get to draw 2 spells now. And also, well, we'll just reveal the next card. Wachung! Wow, what is this card? Okay, so this card has to be completed in order. Focus! And it's actually quite hard. It is 3, 6, and a skull. So that is a minimum, absolute minimum of 1, 2, 3, 4 dice to finish this card. And you only get 6 greens. Which is why, on success, we get an Elder Sign, and we also get a monster. So this is pretty decent. Very worth checking out. It is the Peculiar Specimen. Despite its tiny size, the way the insect lurched and shambled sent a chill up my spine. Okay, so that's a pretty gross, horrible insect monster. But that is where we need to go next, because we really badly need to start getting some of those signs. And this little baby gets tucked away in her victory pile. But the last thing is also we opened a portal. Now, when I set up this desk, I didn't really leave a spot for the good old otherworldly places. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it there. Okay, so we've got space for 2, possibly 3 other worlds. That should be plenty. So let's have a look at the other land. This is like in Arkham Horror, getting sucked into the other dimension. The Great Hall of Ciliango. Ciliangano, whatever. I'm pretty bad at pronouncing those things. If you're wondering, I'm really badly dyslexic. That's why I often read things out incorrectly. Hey, what you gonna do? I found myself in a library. Oh man, this freaking font. I found myself in a library, but fear gripped me, for knowledge itself can be dangerous. And look at that. If we win, we get a Doom token anyway. And it's actually quite easy, this one. It's just a Terror, scroll, and 2 dice. That's, again, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 dice minimum to beat this. So, that is the new place. Okay, so what to do? What to do? Okay, so Amanda is going to head back here. We're going to try and do this one again. Now we're going to use all the tricks, which means we're going to spend this and get a second, get the red dice. And her ability is that she can do things in any order, I believe. Amanda's ability is that she can complete multiple tasks in one roll, which we're probably not going to do in this particular case. But let's give it a shot. Okay, so what a horrific roll. That is probably as bad a roll as we could possibly have. So what we're going to do is I'm going to spend her... actually, I'm not going to spend that. We're just going to throw one of these dice away, and she's going to carry the wild card. Okay. Come on. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to take this 3, turn this into a 4, and complete 4, 5... Oh, wait, that doesn't work. Yes, it does. And take this 2, and that completes the first task. Then I'm going to use a spell token and carry that skull. Now we have to get a skull. Come on, skull. Come on, skull. Come on, skull. And booyah! Skull. And we actually had a re-roll up our sleeve. So there is the second skull. 1 dice to spare. And we have completed Oh So Scary a Place. So, what does that mean? She goes back there. Let's have a look at this baby. We get 2 Doom tokens on the track. It's the first of our Doom tokens. We need 12 Doom tokens to beat this level. So far, we're at 2. And that is the only reward she gets. And that's the Stay Away of the Windows card. I've already read that out, so I'm not going to do it again. Okay. Pull out the sequel. The next card, ooh, the Curator. This is a horrific card. And it's very, very hard to beat. And at midnight, each investigator must spend 2 trophies or lose 1 sanity and 1 stamina. Okay, so that's 3 scrolls and an investigation icon. So that is, again, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice out of 6 possible dice. That's nothing we can do. There's no way we can actually beat that this turn, because our only remaining person is Ashcan Pete, and keep forgetting to do this. Whoop. He has nothing to do. He's got no abilities, no spells. You're useless. Ashcan Pete is useless to me. But what shall we do? We really need to get him some items. So I think we're going to go to the loading dock and hope for the best. Now this has a terror effect that says if you fail a roll, you have to discard any terror icons. So let's just hope it does all right. Okay. Boom. Okay, so this is a interesting choice. We can beat a skull and a scroll, or a scroll and a 3, or that's it, or just the scroll by itself. So we can complete any one of those 3 tasks. Which one is the least likely to come up a second time? Well, we need to scroll every single roll, so that's obviously the scary thing. But the truth is, the investigation icons are not as rare as the skulls, so we're going to go with the skull and the scroll. We don't have to discard our terror icon because we had a successful roll. Except that's not the quest we're doing. Okay, so the skull and the 3 is what we're doing. And we need 1 more skull. Okay. So we're trying to get a skull now. And we roll 2 terror icons, plus we don't get a skull. So we would have to discard 3 dice now. But we do have this rather funky ability here. Once per turn, Mandy may re-roll 2 die before determining if the active player was able to complete the task. So we can roll 2 dice. And we're going to choose the 2 Terra dice, obviously. And we've got a chance to get a skull with these 2 dice. And booyah, we do. That card is not nearly as fun when you're playing solo, that's for sure. Okay, so, skull, that card is done. Back to base, baby. And we have beaten the loading dock, which is a good place for that bum to hang out. And let's see if I can read this without... Focus. There we go. Every corner was filled with wooden crates of every conceivable size. Quietly, I pried the first one open. Mwah! That's why it's so terrifying. And this is only worth 1, so he actually has 2 tokens now. But he does get to pick a common item, which is this thing here. But his ability says scrounge. Whenever Pete gains a common item, unique item, or spell after setup, he may choose instead to receive a clue token, common item, unique item, or spell. So basically we get to choose what kind of reward we have. And he is going to choose an uncommon item, which is this thing. Joink! Okay, so he can fully restore his stamina or sanity. Very, very handy roll. What I was really hoping was for some extra dice. Okay, next for Twink. Oh, it's don't fall asleep. Nightmares are coming, baby. Here it is. Don't fall asleep. At midnight, every investigator loses 1 sanity. As the hours wore on, the exhaustion took its toll, but I knew that in dreams the creatures could creep into my mind. Whoa. 3 terror icons does give us a elder sign. Okay, so this is pretty bad. It is now midnight. Bong. Oh no. Is there any midnight effects? And the answer is yes. The curator, or whatever his name is here. And that means each investigator has to spend 2 trophies or lose 1 sanity. And 1 stamina. And don't fall asleep. At midnight, every investigator loses 1 sanity. So everyone loses a sanity right off the bat. Nothing we can do about that. So sanity. Oops. I'm going insane. Like so. And now we have to choose to discard if we want. So let's have a look. How many tokens do we have here? She's only got 1 token. She has tons of tokens. So, yep, we're going to discard these 2 tokens. The discarded monsters go back into the bowl? Can't remember. Don't think so. So, right, so she can't discard a token, so she has to lose another sanity, and she loses a stamina. She's alright. She'll be alright. We'll drink. Right, so she discards a token and saves herself, and he can also discard his tokens. So that only really hit her. Okay, so that is the end of round 2. Holy. Okay. what is the next effect? And it is. See, this font you can read, fine. Horrible monsters! Either add a Doom token to the Doom track, or 2 monsters appear. Reveal a secret. When the clock next strikes midnight, each investigator gains 1 clue token. Well, that's awesome. And considering that we actually have 2 cards that discard monsters, we've got one here, and we've got another one here. Let's take the monsters. So, we have 2 monsters. Now you have to put them where the white things are first, and there are 2 white ones. So, let's put it like so. And let's put the other one like so. Okay, and that is the end of round 2. And we're not doing that well. Still no Doom tokens getting stuck on the track. When I first played this game, I thought you put a Doom token every single time the clock struck 12, but pretty sure that's not actually what you're meant to do. So correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. Okay, so this is actually working out pretty well, but that is the end of this turn. I will see you guys next time.